All right, we're going to get started with today's operational briefing for September 14th for the Mosquito Fire. Again, Jason Schillinger, Plant Section Chief with Team 5. If you guys would, please turn the radios and phones down, and we'll get you guys briefed here this morning. Real quick, when you guys walk in over here, there's a sign for some folks that need to check in. We got 2 crews, 8 pieces of equipment, and overhead. Please see check-in this morning before you go out to the line. Human Resources has a message on 58. Adam, where you at? Right here. If you guys have any issues, please see Adam. And then the training message on page 63. So with that, we're going to get started with Don Fergulia, Operations, with an update.
Can you hear me now? All right, good morning, everybody. Don Fergulia, Night Ops. We're going to start up here in Division Hotel last night. We did drag fire from Forks House Trailhead up to the Deadwood Road, and it was backing nicely this morning when I left. Fires just gave us some intel on it. It's about 500 feet of depth and moving nicely, backing down the hill. So the only thing to report there other than that was that the winds were adverse all night long. So we did pull a large stretch of road with the wind in our face. So we did have quite a bit of ember wash. So heads up day out there in Division Hotel. We'll come down around here into Foresthill, where we're successful in bringing the fire down around towards the bottom of the American River. We do still have a little piece in there today to finish up. Mission critical piece down here today, obviously for day shift. It did settle down in there last night. We did get the inversion to come in. The fire laid down, and not a ton of fire activity. However, here at the head of the fire, that burned actively all night long last night. We never really saw it lay down. And we did see some fire growth out there. Not exponential fire growth, but definitely active fire behavior all night at the head of the fire. Down around into Division Charlie down here at Stumpy Meadows Reservoir, they did bring some fire down to Sweet Pea, from Fire's Edge to Sweet Pea. So about a mile of fire got put in last night, and they're headed for Black Oak Campground probably in the next day and a half to 2 days, and out to the Wentworth Springs Road. So with that, have a good, safe shift today.
Weather.
Good morning, Incident Meteorologist Eric Hirth. Well, you can feel the chill in the air. There's that change. That weak system moved in yesterday, and that's going to be pushing through today as well. So we're starting about 7 degrees cooler in terms of conditions for sun. It's going to be another sunny day. We just have a few high clouds. So there's going to be a lot of sun on the fire again. And then in the afternoon, those southwest winds are going to pick up over the ridges, and we're going to have really good ventilation. It's going to be pushing that smoke off to the northeast. Temperatures this afternoon are going to be a little bit cooler. We're going to have highs in the 70s. Humidity, we have moderate recovery this morning, and it's going to be a little bit higher than we saw yesterday, 27 to 35% this afternoon. And again, those winds will be picking up as the inversion breaks around 1 p.m. and they'll be gusting up to 15 to 20 miles an hour up on the ridges. And then tonight, those winds will be dying down, and we'll be getting some of those down canyon winds again. Have a safe shift.
Fire behavior.
Good morning, Jonathan Pangburn, Fire Behavior Analyst. All right.
John, move closer to your mouth. Closer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Louder. You talk real
Hello.
There you go.
All right. So, Jonathan Pangburn, Fire Behavior Analyst, and what we're seeing here is same conditions day after day that just get a little bit worse. Little bit. We're not concerned about massive wind pushes. We're just concerned about the wind clearing out the smoke so that there's fresh oxygen so that this fire can get up and move. We're still under the Fuels and Fire Behavior Advisory that's in your IAP. I want to point out a couple of items of concern. We still have that persistent southwest flow, right? So it's generally favorable on this whole western side of the fire and southwest, especially the communities where you're starting to mop up. The spot in Charlie, you should have reasonably favorable up canyon type flow today during the day. But as you know, the Middle Fork of the American River and as well the Rubicon, it gets really squirrely out there, so do watch for those eddies and your spotting potential. Moving out into like more of the branch 15 and 10 country though, it's going to want to keep chunking out there, and I want to just remind everyone, especially in Juliet, This is where you're in between the American and the King Fire scars that I keep harping on. And speaking of the King Fire, I'm just going to bring it up. King Fire, as well as the Ponderosa Fire of 2001, we had multiple blow-ups. We've had shelter deployments out here. We've had near misses. And we're at that point in the incident when people are going to start to get a little complacent. Those events were similar to this. Not wind-driven events, just fuel that was primed and ready and decided to get up with a hurry and put some people in some dangerous situations who were finishing, cutting some hand line. So please be aware that the conditions exist for that, and I do not want anyone getting in an unsafe situation. So beware. We're ready for an absolute blow-up out here. It doesn't need a ton of wind, just a little bit to get up and moving. Thank you. Be safe.
All right, real quick, I want to bring your attention to the 202 for the leader's intent, management objectives, and control objectives. Those remain the same for today. So please review those with your crew.
All right, good morning, Spencer Andreas. Good morning, Spencer Andreas, playing ops with your line leadership roll call for today's shift. Day operations, Steve Burns. Deputy ops, Nolan Hale. Night operations, Don Fergulia. Deputy operations, Thomas Smith. Planning ops, Dave Soldavini. Landon Hack. And myself. Branch 3, Sean Norman. Division Alpha, Doug McCown. Trainee, Ross Dollarhide. Division Charlie, Andy Gregerson. Andrew Rouse, trainee. Todd Structure Group, Joe Walton. With Burns, Brimhall, trainee. Branch 5, Christopher Baldoni. Division Delta, Brian York. With Mickey Brunelli, trainee. Division Foxtrot, Eric Beither. With Brian Whitaker, trainee. Foresthill Structure Group, Brian Ham, right? With Tran Bea, trainee. Branch 10, Gary Monday. Tad Hare, trainee. And Mike Clement Knight, Knight, Branch 10, who's out on the line. Division Hotel, Jimmy Hidalgo, on the line, with Tonio Cipini as a trainee. Mark Johnson, Knight, on the line, with Hector Sanchez, who also is out on the line. Juliet, Patrick Callahan. Right in, Fred, oh, excuse me, go ahead and scratch, and it'll be Fred Tan, trainee. Branch 15, and these are all folks over in Placerville. Steve Clark, with Alec Lane as Knight. Division Mike, Jeb Prano, with Brian Mork at night. Division Romeo, Anthony Sagona, with Derek Chapman as trainee. Branch 20, Chris Stevens, with Pete English, trainee. Charlie, Jack Sevelson, with Haglison as trainee. Golf will be Christopher Markey. And Branch 20 Contingency, Nathan Orsburn. And again, all those folks are over in the Placerville camp listening to us remotely. Branch 25, Mark Brunton. Kilo, Ryan Wagoner. What's that? Okay, he's at Placerville. Yankee, Brandon Brady. Zulu on staff. And Branch 25 Contingency, Aldo Gonzalez. All right. Nolan Hale with your day operations update.
Good morning, everybody. Nolan Hale, Deputy Operations. For today, we're going to continue our small victories that we found yesterday in this massive firefight we had up in Foresthill proper. For our priorities, day operations today, it's going to be this Branch 3, Branch 5 with all of the structures, followed up to Division Hotel so we can start turning this left shoulder, see where we can tie that back into the forest. And then our third priority is going to be in Division Charlie, continuing their fire operation, bringing it out to Wentworth Springs Road and trying to turn that right shoulder, bringing it up and around. Like it's been talked about several times, we're getting a week plus into this incident. Please review your 10s and 18s going out to the line, as a lot of us have a extended travel time. Review the basics. Stay safe. Thank you.
Air operations.
Good morning, Ira Graves with Air Operations. Similar lineup to what we had yesterday. I'll start with night ops. We still have the water dropper and Helco. They were out there working Division Charlie last night for about 4 hours, and doing really good work. Helicopter lineup, we're going to add 2 more Type 1s a little later today. I'll let you guys refer to your Air Ops plan for the full lineup. We also have the 2 scoopers and the 24-hour hoist available to us today, as well as our full fleet of UAS that are roaming around out there. I'd like to emphasize this morning's message to you guys for a little safety. Yesterday was a really good showing of high-pace air traffic, and so I want to remind everybody to keep your communications on air-to-ground brief, concise. We only have 1 air-to-ground tactical right now, and a lot of divisions using that, so make sure your traffic is very brief. As well as working with the aircraft, we need to make sure that the line is clear when they're dropping that retardant or water. That's a real heavy load, and I don't want anybody getting hurt out there. So anytime they're out there and you hear air attack asking if the line is clear, we need to ensure that the line is clear. So with that, have a safe shift.
Communications.
Good morning. Dave Larkin, Communication Unit Leader. Today is the day. This is the big clone day. All right, everybody needs to clone. You will be receiving a updated comm plan that you have been using, but it has been updated. We've included more tacticals. So please, for today's plan, it has been updated, and you'll need to get that clone. You'll also receive the clones for the new NIFC system that has been erected up, okay? And we'll be going over to that tomorrow morning. So you receive the new NIFC system clone as in addition to the IA clone. All right, so you got an updated clone for today, the new NIFC system clone, and the new IA clone. All right, so we have a lot of people to clone out here. We've got an army of technicians at the Comtech trailer just in back of the staging here. They're ready to serve your needs, so there won't be any time for any custom zones or anything like that. So please get your clone at the trailer right behind here. Thank you.
Medical.
Good morning, Robert Russell, Team 5 Medical. So a couple things I'm going to ask you to do. One is to review the information in the safety message regarding hydration and heat-related injury. The other is when you go out there on the line and you're doing your breakouts and your tailboards, is to pull your IRPG out, look at page 2, and look at planning for medical emergencies. So as the operational tempo increases throughout the course of the day and we get into a time wedge situation, you're going to have a plan. And throughout the course of the day, continue to reevaluate and validate that plan. So in the event of something happening out there to one of your folks, we have a good plan and we're able to pull the trigger on that accordingly. That said, have a safe day.
Safety.
Good morning, Jason Windegler, Team 5 Safety. First, I want to start off, in you guys' 204s, there's a special message for every division out there. Please stay out of areas where it's posted that the public doesn't want firefighters, public safety in there. If we need to get them out, we'll let law enforcement deal with them. But please, there's a lot of people that might not necessarily like firefighters, government, so just avoid those areas, make it known, and if we need to do evacuations or anything in that area, pass that on to the sheriff and we'll let the sheriff deal with it. Fire behavior. You heard fire behavior talking about the potential and how it reacts. Yesterday afternoon was a good example when that thing spotted across the American River. In an instant change of time, the fire was doing nothing to everybody was engaging such structure protection and actively fighting fire. So expect the unexpected with fire behavior. Planning your routes in and out. As this fire moves around spots, make sure you have a secondary route out. Just don't count on that primary route out when you're on the fire line. Yesterday we had a couple crew carriers and engines get in a bad place. They made it out safely, but plan to have that secondary route. Know what it is out. Hydration again. In our lunches, we got a lot of those drip drop electrolyte packages for supplement for the water. Please Do not double those up. Read the instructions. Usually it says 1 package per 12-ounce bottle. Don't put 2 in there. We're noticing a trend that's the reason a lot of people are getting dehydrated. They want that extra flavor. Just follow the instructions on those packages. Also, when we're in the smoky road conditions, use your lights. Turn on your warning lights, turn on your headlights, make yourself visible. Yesterday afternoon, when everybody was re-engaging down in Charlie, some of the vehicles that didn't have their lights on, people couldn't see you. So use your warning lights. If you got them when those conditions are smoky, turn them on so that way everybody can see you. Have a safe shift.
Agency Administrator.
Hey, good morning. I'm Brian Estes. I'm the State and County Fire Chief here in Placer County. And on behalf of the agency administrators on this incident, I just want to leave you with a couple things today. Yesterday was not to be not expected, okay? It's a canyon fire. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about why it happened, the wind shifts, could have happened today, could have happened tomorrow. The bottom line is there are people out there that sat in these first 2 rows yesterday, and a couple of them are here right now, and I'm looking at them, that provided line leadership and a plan and measurable and attainable objectives that solved the problem through the early morning hours this morning. And that's what my expectation and the expectation of my partners is. Accountability and build a plan that has measurable and attainable objectives. Keep your people safe and don't pay for real estate twice, all right? That's all I ask of you. Don't forget about that east end of the fire too. We are getting a little bit separated. Keep those objectives clear. We've got a lot of very, very valuable SPI land out there that we have to make sure are in our gun sights at all time, okay? I want accountability out there. And lastly, I want everyone to know here in Placer County just how engaged our elected officials are, and that's been represented by members of our county staff and elected officials at this briefing almost every single morning. This morning, our District 5 Supervisor, Cindy Gustafson, whose district this fire is in wholly, this Board of Supervisors here is engaged with this fire every day and every night, and they have full support for all of you out there on the line. So thank you very, very much on behalf of our agency administrators and our electeds for all the work you're doing. Thank you. Have a good shift.
Closing comments, Unified Incident Commander.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Dusty Martin. I'm one of the Unified Incident Commanders. So today is day 8 that this fire started, and we heard today about some complacency and not falling into that, understanding what we're going out in. Yesterday in Branch 3, they had one heck of a firefight up and around that community. That is not unexpected, could happen again today. So please, review your plan, understand what you're going into, understand your weather message that came out today, what's going to happen. Our number one priority is life and property. I would like each and every one of you to open up your IAP and read that leader's intent. An aggressive, full suppression actions today. Today's going to be another hard day. We talked about that east side and the wind and the growth out there. I know Ops is working on a plan and starting to turn some of those shoulders, and we need to keep our foot on that gas pedal on there. But also remain flexible. As happened yesterday, we had to move resources around throughout the incident to new priorities. Priorities can change throughout the incident, so please make sure you remain flexible, stay fully engaged today, and I expect a good, hard day's work out there. Thank you and have a great day.
All right, remember, we got to get cloned this morning, so be patient with the techs out there. Get your radios cloned. If you're unassigned, come on up front here. We'll get you guys jotted down so we can get you guys assigned to the division. And your breakouts are posted. If you don't know where your breakout is, there is a sign out there that shows where you guys are going to be at. Have a good, safe day, and turn your radios and phones back up. Thank you.